Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. I know, stupid late again. I'm really sorry about that. Work has been a bitch. Not to mention, my phone decided to act real stupid for the last few minutes, so things aren't going great, but they should be better within the next few weeks. Hopefully. But anywho, yeah, today we're going to be talking about Amsterdam. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros, the cast. I mean, look at this list of names. Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, John David Washington, Chris Rock, Anna Taylor-Joy, Zoe Saldana, Mike Myers, Michael Shannon, Timothy Oliphant, Taylor Swift, Rami Malek, Robert De Niro. This is a stellar group of names. All these actors are highly recognizable for, different reasons. You know, say Christian Bale, there's Batman, Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn, Chris Rock, Oscars 2022, Mike Myers, Shrek, Zoe Saldana, Gamora, Michael Shannon, General Zod. We got a lot of superhero actors in here. People that were in superhero movies. Kind of weird, but yeah, this has to be one of the most impressive ensemble cast I've ever seen. I mean, the only movies I can think of that are really comparable are Dune from last year and Don't Look Up, also from last year. I guess Knives Out too. That had a pretty good ensemble. So yeah, the cast is no doubt the sole reason why anyone would want to watch this movie because the cast is legitimately impressive. So, yeah, the cast pro, easy pro. And sure, some of these actors they don't do great by themselves, but if you group them all together, it's a much more appealing package, which is very much what happened with Knives Out and Dune and Don't Look Up too, I guess. So, yeah, cast is an easy pro. Um, Another pro I can think of. Let's see. Let's go to David O. Russell, man behind this movie. He's had some hits in the past decade. He really hit it big the first half of the 2010s. He had The Fighter, which was a big hit, and then he had Silver Linings Playbook, which was an even bigger hit. It nabbed Jennifer Lawrence her Oscar, and then American Hustle became his biggest hit. He stumbled with Joy, and he didn't make anything for a long time until Amsterdam. So, yeah, I mean, he's had three big hits in a row. So, I mean, you can't really call that box office poison. So, and some of his collaborators are back with him for this movie. Christian Bale, Robert De Niro, they're like the main ones. So, yeah, I'd say David O. Russell's name is a relative pro, I guess. So, yeah, consider that to be a pro. Another pro I can think of is that competition right now is just not there. I mean, the only movies that I can think of that are remotely comparable to this when it comes to like being like an adult movie are Woman King, Don't Worry Darling. Well, Smile and Bros are completely different genres, so I wouldn't count those. Don't Worry Darling crashed and burned in week 2, so that's a non-factor. And Woman King is in its fourth weekend, so it's old news, so that's a non-factor too. So really there's nothing for Amsterdam. At least there's no real direct competition for this movie until God, oof. At least for its target audience until Ticket to Paradise, I guess. I don't know. That's the closest thing I got. But that's not till 2 weeks. Although it's been playing overseas for the past few weeks, but in America, it will come in 2 weeks. So yeah, until that, there's really nothing, when it comes to like direct competition. So I would consider that to be a pro. And that's it. Okay. Cons. The big con easily are the reviews. So one would think with a director like this and a cast like this would be a critical smash, right? It'd be a slam dunk. It would be, very much an Oscar bait movie. No, no, no. Oh no. This is anything but that. The reviews are terrible for a movie like this. It's at 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. Its audience score is at 63%, which is better, but still not great. So, and its cinema score isn't impressive either. It's a B cinema score, which isn't the worst thing. I mean, Don't Worry Darling got a B minus, but still, I wouldn't brag about that B. Ideally, you want to have a cinema score B plus or above. That indicates solid word of mouth. Anything below that, you're in the danger zone. And if you're below like a B, once you reach C, D, F, it's over. So, yeah, word of mouth is bad. It's very much not good for a movie like this, which is just shocking to me because like I never would have expected word of reaction to be just so piss poor. But hey, crazy things have happened. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to think of a good example off the top of my head. It's like 2 a.m. I'm trying to think of a good example off the top of my head where people were like, "Oh, this movie's gonna be trash," and then ends up being like great. I guess there's the Sonic movie. That's an easy example. Um, Free Guy. Some people probably thought that would be Smile. That's a great one. A lot of people thought that was gonna be cringe, and it turned out to be pretty good. That's a fantastic one. It's a very recent one. Amsterdam is the complete opposite of that. So yeah, yeah. Word of mouth bad, so that's an easy con. And it's also a detrimental con because the target audience for this movie are obviously like older, is a bit older. They pay more attention to reviews than most other groups. And sure, reviews don't really, for a lot of many cases, reviews don't mean a damn thing. Like, I mean, Jurassic World Dominion, Where the Crawdad Sings, those movies prove that. But not every movie has that advantage. They're not every movie can be critic proof, and I think this is definitely one that will not be critic proof. So so word of mouth con easy. Another con is the fact that it feels like Disney, well, this is from 20th Century Studios, but it's still Disney. They pretty much gave up on this movie. That's the vibe I've been getting. It feels like the polar opposite of Barbarian, like from last month. With Barbarian, like from the trailers and like the lack of build up to it, you think, oh, this is just like a dump movie, a movie they want to dump out just to get rid of it and never speak of it again. And then I guess Disney, they had like no confidence in the beginning, and then they were like, wait a minute, we might have something here. And so they gave it a last minute push, and then people started seeing it. They were like, damn, this actually is good. And then it got that organic word of mouth, and it did better than anyone expected it to, and it became a little hit. This People were like, okay, this could be pretty good. At least Disney thought so at the time. And then as it got closer to release, they were like, all that confidence evaporated, and they were like, shit, we gotta release this. So they just kind of dumped it out there, and they're just letting it die. And that's the vibe I'm getting. And like I've seen like some YouTube ads, but not a whole lot. I've seen I've seen more ads for like Halloween Ends. Uh and really Halloween Ends. And I think I may have seen, yeah, mainly Halloween Ends. It's the only one I can think of. So yeah, just Disney gave up on this movie. They just let it die. So that's a con. And I guess the rest of October isn't like too bad, but we do have like two big-ish movies coming out in the next 2 weeks in the form of Halloween Ends and Black Adam, and that's not good for this. So yeah, that's a con. You know, bigger, more appealing movies on the horizon is a con. And I think that's it. So opening weekend, couple weeks ago, I would have said, I don't know, between 15 and 20. And then the reviews started coming out. I was like, okay, that's not happening anymore. Maybe 10. I didn't even talk about its preview numbers. Shoot. They're not great. It made like 550,000 preview numbers. If we compare this to other movies recently, uh, compare this to other movies. Okay. Uh, don't don't worry, darling. We're gonna. All right. Shoot. Uh, you know what? I'm just gonna do this. It'll be easier. Okay, going through this list. Where's Don't Worry, Darling? There it is. Don't Worry, Darling. That had a Thursday preview of 3 million, which was no doubt aided by Harry Styles fans. So I don't know if that's a great comparison. Well, there's Woman King too. That both of these movies opened with like 19 million. Woman King had a preview number of 1.7. So, uh-oh. That's not it's not good. The comparisons are very much not good here for Amsterdam. And yeah, that doesn't help anything. So Thursday preview, that's a con too. So opening weekend, I thought I even though I lowered my initial prediction, I was like, maybe it'll hit 10. But then I realized that won't happen either. So I'm going to say it's going to open between 6 and 7, judging by this preview number, which is horrible for a movie that costs like $80 million. That is just, oh my. That's got to be the biggest bomb I've covered since Lightyear, easily. So that's really not good. And then total, I don't know, 20, I guess. It wouldn't even matter because the movie's a disaster. It's a bomb already. So who cares? But I'm going to go with 20 million total. And yeah, that's it for Amsterdam. So, only one other movie to talk about this weekend. It's Lyle Lyle Crocodile, which isn't doing so hot either. So, this is definitely a weekend to forget. So, yeah. But anywho, yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. You want to check out more videos like this? I got playlists on the homepage for all previous prediction videos I made this year. I didn't even talk about all the 20th Century Studio movies. Let's talk about that for a quick moment because 20th Century Studios is poison. It's box office poison. You can't tell me otherwise. The evidence is overwhelming. I mean, don't Death on the Nile did bad. Bob's Burgers the movie did bad. Barbarian did all right. Did pretty decent. And then Amsterdam is going to do bad. Not even mentioning Empty Man, Last Duel, Ron's Gone Wrong, New Mutants, Kingsman, West Side Story. Call of the Wild. Free Guy is like the big one of the bunch, but though it won't be the only big successful one for long. I mean, we got Avatar: The Way of Water coming up. That will no doubt be a success. If it's not, I would be stunned. But yeah, this is a 20th Century Studios movie. This box office poison, so that's another knock against it. But yeah, I've covered all the rest of the 20th Century Studio movies this year: Death on the Nile, Bob's Burgers, and Barbarian. So, you want to watch my prediction videos on those? You can go right ahead, and all the others. There's also the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I covered Amsterdam, I think it was last month, or maybe it was August. I don't remember, but I covered it fairly recently because this was a very last minute change. It was supposed to come out in November, like the first weekend of November, and then they just pushed it to October, which in hindsight was definitely a sign that they lost confidence. Because the first weekend of November can be pretty big, most of the time. And yeah, sure, early October has had some hits, like Social Network, Gravity, The Martian, Gone Girl, movies like that. They had hype. They had, substantial hype. This didn't. So that's a problem. It was episode 149. Talked about Amsterdam and Saw 10. That's where I talked about this. So if you want to watch that episode or any other canceled episodes, I did one yesterday about Glass Onion and not Incredibles, Expendables 4. So you want to watch, that was episode 158. So you have 158 episodes to choose from. So if you want to watch any of them, go right ahead. Binge them all from beginning to now. I highly suggest you do that. So go do it. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. I decided I'm going to push that to Monday. That way I can have a chance to analyze some of these September movies, second weekends. And, give me time to prepare because September had a stupid amount of movies and most of them didn't matter, but I have to look through all the numbers and it's a process. So stay tuned for that video, the September recap. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I've made this year and on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out and goodbye.